Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram 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 Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Sannyasa Swamiji got it done. Maybe no Swamiji will tell him they can reduce the weight.
Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Chalu Verma. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Should I bring what I have finished? How much I have finished? I'll bring the file, how much I have finished and come. I'll bring a pen drive and come. Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri 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 Ram Jai Ram,
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om.
Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om. 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 Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. So, Papa has facilitated us to travel through 17 chapters again, and today is the 18th chapter. First, when we were prompted, we went through in a, what was the train? Vande Bharat speed. So the next one is not Vande Bharat, but again it requires a lot of time. We couldn't do it, so we were able to touch. But this time we were very, very clear. This time we were very, very clear that we try to find out the points in each and every chapter which helps us to refine the mind. This is very important.
From Swamiji. Bhagavad Gita from Swamiji. This one.
This one.
No.
Copy to. No, not here. To
Oh, copy this there.
copy to desktop.
Let me check the pen drive.
Take. So we are in this 18th chapter today. Actually, this is the biggest chapter. Of all the 18 chapters, this is the biggest chapter. 78 slokas. Practically impossible for us to go through that each and every one. But certainly it makes us to know that it is a synopsis, of the entire 17 chapters. So we will first go through the point that welled up in our hearts, and then try to read a few portions from Swami Ranganathanji's commentaries on certain slokas. Chapter number 18, the power of total surrender. This concluding chapter of the Bhagavad Gita serves as a synopsis of the teachings from the previous 17 chapters. It emphasizes the necessity of total surrender to the divine, which dissolves the ego, clears delusion, leads to complete self-effacement. When individuality is subdued and the presence of the indwelling reality is recognized, love becomes stress-free, peaceful, harmonious, vibrant, creative. In a simple language, we are now talking. At the time of talking, if we are blessed with the awareness that it is because of the power inside these words are coming out, then we are game. The sense of individuality is so strong, though intellectually it appreciates, it will never give up its doership, ownership. I am talking. No? Even if we express I am talking, if this awareness is there in a subtle way, then also we stand to gain. This is the toughest portion. So 18th chapter enables us at least to place it as an ideal, that we as an individual cannot exist without that indwelling reality, indwelling power, indwelling truth. Easy to understand this, we remember a dead body. The dead body, immediately after the life ebbs away, all the organs of action and perception, they are there, no? But we say he is dead. What does it mean? The life force is not there. So in Bhagavad Gita, he says, Jivanam sarvabhudeshu. I am the life force in everything. Only with the life force, the body, mind, intellect exists. The sense of agency, sense of doership exists. It is not that the life force goes away. The life force drops this sense of individuality. Drops this body, mind, intellect. It still continues to be there. Just like the trees drop the old leaves, ripened fruits, its barks. The tree remains there, no? Similarly, the life force exists, it is eternal. So it has assumed the sense of individuality through the body, mind, intellect, and that body, mind, intellect gets dropped. The moment the life principle is away from the body, mind, intellect, it no longer functions as a body, mind, intellect. We can't say the life force is not there because the decomposition takes place, the dismantling process takes place. But in this form, it is not there. The sense of individuality as such goes away. So if we recognize this, intellectually first recognize, and then because of our various discipline, we try to get a glimpse of this, then we know that all our thoughts, all our words, all our deeds happening only because of its presence. This is the sum and substance of Bhagavad Gita. So then what happens? The individuality is subdued and the presence of the indwelling reality is recognized, and then life becomes stress-free because the sense of individuality is now assuming so many things. Just like in a train journey, when we go, or in a flight, we go with our baggage, but we don't carry the baggage on our head the moment we are inside the vehicle. It carries not only us, but also the luggage. So similarly, all our thoughts, words, stress, everything is handed over to him. Then we become free. That is what is written here. This concluding chapter of the Bhagavad Gita serves as a synopsis of the teachings from the previous 17 chapters. It emphasizes the necessity of total surrender to the divine. How do we even now we are talking, the hand is moving, the sound is coming, eyes are opening, ears are hearing. All these functions are taking place because of the indwelling reality. So it emphasizes the necessity of total surrender to the divine. So far, the mind, he allowed us to assume the sense of individuality as independent. Even if we say God, we treat him as something outside. But as we go on practicing this, the 17 chapters give us a clue that he is within us. He is there in the form of, he is the eternal seed. He is there in the form of life force. He is there in the form of consciousness. He is there in the form of intelligence. All these have been vividly described. And he is equal in everybody. Though everything happens by his will, he remains untouched, unaffected, unruffled, just like the space. So when individuality is subdued, it emphasizes the necessity of total surrender to the divine, which dissolves the ego, clears delusion, and leads to complete self-effacement. Because always the subtle level awareness is there. He is behind, he is behind, he is behind. That is how this self-effacement takes place. When individuality is subdued and the presence of the indwelling reality is recognized, life becomes stress-free, peaceful, harmonious, vibrant, and creative. Total surrender is the ultimate step in refining the mind. So what is to be refined? That crudity. That crudity is the offspring of this sense of individuality. When the sense of individuality realizes that it owes its origin to the ultimate reality, crudity goes. So total surrender is the ultimate step in refining the mind. It is not about passive resignation, but about an active and conscious offering of all thoughts, words, and deeds to the divine. This process clears the mind of attachments, transforms the me and mine into a pure instrument of Lord's will. In this, we remember the prayer. Morning we read it out. Anybody has got a prayer? No. Don't worry, don't go. Don't go. Here it is there. Check up.
We have it in the email. We have sent it to someone sometime back.
This prayer, you don't have to go. This prayer, this is direct translation of what we said. O my Sadgurudev, you are verily the Lord of the universe, pulsating, activating, supporting everything. And it is you who have sent me over here to translate your message into reality. I am only carrying out your commands. I beseech you to see to it that no pride or self-esteem enters my heart, no thirst for name and fame creeps into my mind. All the burden and responsibility that you have placed upon me are verily yours. Bless me so that I may carry on your work only as an instrument in your hands, and that I may offer all the fruits of work unto you. Guide me always in the right path. God is addressed also as the Sadguru. So this prayer makes us to dwell on these lines. You are verily the Lord of the universe, pulsating, activating, supporting everything. And it is you who have sent me over here to translate your message into reality. I am only carrying out your commands. I beseech you to see to it that no pride or self-esteem enters my heart, no thirst for name or fame creeps into my mind. All the burden and responsibility that you have placed upon me are verily yours. Bless me so that I may carry on your work only as an instrument in your hands, and that I may offer all the fruits of work unto you. Guide me always in the right path. So such prayer, enables us to get some clarity of what we are hearing. And total surrender is the ultimate step in refining the mind. It is not about passive resignation, but an active and conscious offering of all thoughts, words, and deeds to the divine. This process clears the mind of attachment and transforms, because everything is his, and transforms the me and mine into pure instrument of the God's will. When the ego dissolves, the sense of separateness disappears, and one experiences unity with the infinite. True liberation is attained when actions are no longer driven by personal desires, but are instead performed with a spirit of surrender. Such a state brings inner stability, fearlessness, unwavering joy that external circumstances cannot disturb. These are all the signs, of one who has reached this state. Inner stability, fearlessness, unwavering joy that external circumstances cannot disturb. Refining the mind through surrender involves subduing assertiveness and cultivating humility. Instead of being trapped in self-centered thoughts, one begins to see the divine hand behind every event. This leads to acceptance of life's experiences with equanimity, neither being elated by success nor disturbed by failure. All these things have been elaborately explained in 12th chapter. So there, you don't get elated, nor you get depressed. Because everything is happening by His will. When I get stabilized, rooted in that, there is no asharyam, there is nothing, this is nice. This is not nice, that will not be there. Because every moment we are trying to understand that He brings in, we colorize it. We have put a label. That is why it is said, refining the mind through surrender involves subduing assertiveness. My rights, my wrongs, my likes, my dislikes, If I don't assert, that means I am paving the way. That person also, or that particular situation is also, it demands something. We will have a cool hearing. And then lovingly convince why we want to go ahead with that. We are open. We are open for correction at every moment. Because we also take it that when somebody differs with us, it is an opportunity for us to think twice. We don't condemn anybody, we don't overlook anybody, because nobody is irrelevant, nobody is unimportant, nobody is insignificant. And even if there are lapses, we will immediately try to repair it. Because just because we hear, we will not be able to control our behavior, which has been with us for a quite long time. But as a first step, we try to understand, I shouldn't have talked like that, I shouldn't have done like that. And if possible, openly repair the damage, otherwise subtly repair the damage. This is all the process of refining. So refining the mind through surrender involves subduing assertiveness and cultivating humility. Instead of being trapped in self-centered thoughts, one begins to see the divine hand behind every event. This leads to acceptance of life's experience with equanimity, neither being elated by success nor disturbed by failure. The other day we were sharing one anecdote, you remember? One Ram. Huh? Yeah. Was there? But we have put it here? Oh. Then for the sake of new hearers, we will repeat it. Because this is very important. Neither being elated by success nor disturbed. This is where we can put it. There was a Tulsi Ram, a lad of 14 years, was an upcoming tennis player. And in one of the matches organized by AITA, All India Tennis Association, the opponent gave him a stiff fight, neck-to-neck fight. Tulsi Ram won the match, and the audience gave him a standing ovation. All the time Tulsi Ram was equipoised, did not get accelerated. His mother was sitting in the audience, so they couldn't contain, they all started running towards the court. hugged his son, then asked him, when his excited mother rushed up to him and asked him as to why he was not excited by the win, the boy replied that his opponent too played well. And he did not want to hurt the feelings of his opponent anymore after the defeat. Defeat itself must have given him a shock. I don't want to give him more. After all, in a match only one can win, and this time I won. Not getting elated. When thousands of people are there who give a standing ovation, this little 14-year-old boy remains calm, cool and serene and tries to accept that the opponent is also equally, he has played well, and in a match only one will win. What is there to make a big fuss about it? Think. These are all the signs of refinement. At such a tender age, he got it refined. Illustration. One practical way to surrender is by consciously dedicating every action to the divine. This time I won, he made me to win. Whether performing daily duties, interacting with others, or making decisions, one should remember that all actions are guided by a higher purpose. The mindset shifts the focus from individual gain to selfless service. Dev, a young entrepreneur, struggled with his ego and fear of failure. He constantly sought validation, which led to stress and dissatisfaction. Upon understanding the principle of surrender, he decided to let go of his need for control and embrace the humility and trust in the divine process. As he surrendered his ego, he found peace and a deeper sense of purpose both in his work and personal life. We remember a very touching incident that had happened 5-6 years, decades back. German auditors came for our checkup in the company. So, at that time our mindset was when somebody comes from principals, we all stand, Indian tradition. And so these people came and put their hand on our shoulder. Sit down, friends. All of us are equal. We are working for the same company. Our job is to audit. Your job is to work. Both of us are doing the same job so all are equal. Don't think that we are superior or you are not superior. We touched our heart. Then whatever they wanted, we showed them. And throughout that 3-4 hours, even when there were clerical mistakes in our handling, which was corrected, when they started noting down, so we said it has been corrected. Then he said, it is not to point out your mistakes we have come. These things will happen in any clerical job. And it has to be corrected also. But we just wanted to know how many mistakes have been there, how many corrections have been there, so that we can improve our performance. It is not to find fault with anybody. It is only to, when this is given for review, everyone will become more and more alert. That's all. See, the way in which he put. The superiority is not at all there. The humbleness and humility, because of the refinement, now we understand. The sense of superiority is not at all there. So Dev, a young entrepreneur, struggled with his ego and fear of failure. He constantly sought validation, which led to stress and dissatisfaction. Upon understanding the principle of surrender, he decided to let go of his need for control and embraced humility and trust in the divine process. As he surrendered his ego, he found peace and a deeper sense of purpose both in his work and personal life. Beloved Papa, so these are all the things that we have noted. These are all the important things that is in the 18th chapter. And a few lines from Puja Swami. Detachment. We are working. We are dealing with human beings. Yet there is inside us a tremendous sense of detachment. There is zest in life and yet detachment. These two go together here. Normally they do not go together. When I have zest in my life, I am deeply attached. When I am detached, I become apathetic. I did not concern myself with anybody. That is called ordinary kind of detachment. We see that some people develop that kind of apathetic attitude in a household. In psychology, it is called apatheia. Apatheia means that there is no interest in anything. One simply sits in a dark corner. It seems external to be a high state of mind. Internally, it's a very pitiable state. A human being can achieve such contradictory states in life. We have seen it in the 12th chapter. Very fearless and yet very gentle. The obstruction to manifestation is removed. That ego was the obstruction. And then when it goes away, what is here is also there. Sri Ramakrishna says, place a small stick on a sheet of water. Place a small stick on a sheet of water. You will find the left side and the right side which are separate. Actually, it is not separate. It merely looks separate. The stick seems to separate the two. In fact, it is only one sheet of water. So when you remove the stick, you realize the ever-present oneness of the sheet of water. That is the work that is done here. Distinction that obtained till now, which was fictitious, but which gave a lot of trouble, has now vanished. Surrender, no? First, we strengthen that notion. See the wonder of it. To a baby, we don't say eliminate the I. It has no I at all. We produce the I in the baby. We strengthen it. We always praise the baby. It is only later that we begin to tell the child to eliminate this I. Yeah? If we have to live with others, we have to eliminate this I. We have to soften it. We have to go beyond it. We should expand our concept of I. That has been the teaching in all these various chapters. Now we are coming to the final act. Little I goes away, is set aside, is dissolved in that infinite one. He alone is. We are nothing. Thou alone are truth. That knowledge will come. We enter into that reality. It is not necessary to give up work to become one with Brahman. That is the stress in the Gita all the time. Having dedicated oneself to me, the ultimate reality, Sri Krishna uses the word mat, I. because he is speaking of the infinite Atman in the hearts of all beings. Mat prasadat. Through my grace, one will achieve the highest, Shashvatam Padam Avyayam, the eternal state from which there is no decay at all. That state is eternal and infinite. Till now, we were a spark of the fire. Now, we become the fire itself. Till now, as an individuals, till now, we were a spark of the fire. But when we scale the heights, we become the fire itself. No more will there be this kind of littleness, finiteness, creature idea attached to us. So through my grace, one achieves that state of infinitude, which is one's true nature. We did not know it, but our life gave us this education. I am not this tiny little thing. There is something infinite about me. All greatness comes from this understanding. But not understanding the matter correctly, we try to expand our ego, fatten it. And that is extremely harmful to oneself and to others. That expansion of the ego by which we destroy the self-respect of other people is a dangerous ego. That expansion of the ego by which we encourage other people also and restore them to their own self-respect, that is the correct infinite expansion. These two are to be properly understood. Somebody asked, what will happen when we reach it, whether we'll be able to retain the sense of individuality? Yes. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa beautifully describes as the ripened ego and the unripened ego. That means the ripened ego recognizes everybody as this form. Unripened ego does not recognize and feels I am. That is why even after scaling the heights, we find people live the ordinary life. They also react to objects, persons and situations, but their norm is totally different. It is not from the me and mine level, it is from the absolute level. Again, Buddhi. Chetasa sarvakarmani maisanyasya matparaha buddhi yoga dubashitva machitta satatam bhava. Beautiful. Buddhi is the psychic energy in a human being which has been thoroughly trained, disciplined, purified. It has become a luminous instrument for human development, refined one. The same psychic energy functions through the sensory system. I see, I hear, I do all this. I think, I make a will of my own. All this is psychic energy functioning in different ways. To start with, we had not refined it. A little refinement gives us ordinary character energy. Still more refinement gives one this buddhi. Highly refined psychic energy is buddhi. It is luminous and has a tremendous impact, tremendous power, so that obstacles vanish before this buddhi. Because along with intellect, there is also that willpower. Buddhi is integrated intelligence and willpower. Buddhi is integrated intelligence and willpower. It is also purified, so it cannot do any harm to anyone. It can only do good. And that is the concept of Buddhi in its highest development in Vedanta. As we refine, a lot of time he has mentioned about this refining. A good citizen doing service to the people in his or her department of work exhibits character. That person has achieved a certain measure of his evolution of buddhi out of his or her psychic energy system. And this evolution can go on expanding further and further and purifying, so that when it comes to the purest state, one gets this buddhi yoga. It is by one's own effort that one refines the energy within. I have used the word refine again and again on several Sundays here. As we refine crude oil and produce beautiful petroleum products, even so, the human mind should be able to refine one's own experiences and bring out of them beautiful character products. That means efficiency in action, concern for others, tremendous peace of mind. These are all the byproducts. All this comes from the same psychic energy. The energy that goes now to destroy other people, to exploit other people, that same energy will become pure energy, character energy, citizenship energy, the energy of a devotee of God. So in India, in good old days, nowadays I don't know whether it is there, especially in Brahmin houses, when the death takes place and on the 13th day, when the Vaikuntha Samaradhana, at the time of that, the priest will, in good old days everybody was well conversant with Sanskrit. So they used to compose a Charama Sloka. Something about, to remember about the deceased. He has dropped, God has dropped his body, but at the same time it had a mission, and what all through that body it has done, it will be put in the form of a shloka, and it will be read out, so that the relatives will, those of them who don't know about that, they are reminded of the deceased with reverence, with respect, and it will be kept safe. Every now and then somebody will go through. This is called Charama Shloka. So here Swamiji says, this discussion will end in the Charama Shloka of the Gita, where the theme is complete transcendence of the ego, complete surrender to the divine. That is the Charama Shloka. The moment we move away from the 18th chapter, what is the ultimate? Ultimate is this self-effacement, total surrender, resulting in self-effacement. In other words, in our language, handing over the ownership, lock, stock and barrel to the owner who has given us. We are now coming to the end of the Gita, and that is why the language is more and more of the type of involving God's grace and our surrender to Him, who is the friend of all, who is the self of all. Some great idea is coming. The I is disappearing, God alone is left, resulting in complete surrender to God. And if it had been put earlier, we would have misunderstood it. Now we are in a position to understand that this surrender is truly unique. Surrender at this stage is truly victory. That's a wonderful language. Surrender at an early stage is never victory. But at this stage, surrender is victory. That is what is going to be illustrated in the coming verses. Not I, but thou alone art, and I am just your child, nothing else. We become like a child before the divine. After all, what can a child do in the house? Only the parents can do for the child. We start our life with personal effort. Then we come to a personal assertion expressed as I, and we do all things. Finally, we learn that it is not I, but only He. And He and nothing else is there. That is the last language of spiritual life. So that is the nature of the divine grace. There we are entirely under the inspiration of the divine grace. Lord alone is, nothing else is here. We have to sift the real from the unreal. This is the challenge posed to the human intellect. In each one of us, there is an individual self and the eternal self. The individual self is the I am so and so. And the eternal self is the witness of this I. When we use the word I, our finger points towards our body. Actually, it implies a profound reality hidden inside our psychophysical system. In the absolute sense, it refers to the reality that witnesses the I. That is the eternal self. But in our deluded state, I is understood as the individual self. So this pronoun I has a profound meaning. It is an important datum needing serious investigation. In the body, there is an individual self as well as the eternal self. These are the appearing self and the real self. There is the I and there is the one who witnesses the I. The I is in mundane affairs, eating sweet and bitter fruits. Every time it receives a severe blow, it looks up at the one who is witnessing in silent majesty and moves up a little, aspiring to become like that. A man is subjected to go through ups and downs. In Papa's case, successive failures. It was a demonstration for all of us. So the successive failures somehow was instrumental for the I to get itself released from the conceptual prison of me and mine. And then it started thinking. We prayed. Where is rest? Where is peace? And then the answer came from within. This is what Papa has written in Inquest of God, first book, first chapter, first page, first para. Just think about it. The I, all of us can think about it. There are two I's in us. Because 18th chapter talks about surrender. Surrender of whom to whom? No? This little I in us is all powerful now. It doesn't allow anybody to dictate terms to it. But when it realizes that it owes its origin to the witnessing I, the enlivening I, the propelling I, the pulsating I within, then slowly the effort to surrender starts. The I is in mundane affairs, eating sweet and bitter fruits. Every time it receives a severe blow, it looks up at the one who is witnessing in silent majesty and moves up a little, aspiring to become like that. In this way, it goes on moving until one day it realizes that it is one with the witnessing self, that it never existed separately. What existed was the supreme witnessing self alone. The little I was only a reflection of the witnessing self. So we close our eyes and then we try to understand something about this witnessing. You know? We know that we are sitting. We know that we are hearing. We know that we are. What is that? No, we are trying to find out. Good thought, bad thought, who is naming it? We can see our body mentally. We used to see on the mirror of our face, so we also have an idea about our face. Rest of the organs, we can always see that. But now we are trying to understand who is seeing. So that, and then dhyana here, Papa used to say that when we take up this mental chanting, And when we try to hear the mental chanting, the outgoing tendencies of the thought gets arrested, as it were, and only the hearing goes on. Because the moment I don't hear my chanting, the mind has gone out. Then when we have reached, almost stabilized that practice, then suddenly the question, who is now knowing, who is now chanting? Suddenly, we become aware of the chanting. Chanting is going on, and hearing is going on, and it is being witnessed. We will not be able to explain beyond that. So that is what is meant by witnessing. So it is with us, it has been with us. We were not aware of it. 18th chapter puts a seal to the entire spiritual journey, that the sense of individuality becomes aware of the witnessing I in us, and then the moment it comes, without that, bereft of that, this small I does not exist. When this realization comes, it is what is called self-effacement. And what is the outcome? Papa says, spontaneity of life born of an egoless purity and innocence. Spontaneity of life born of an egoless purity and innocence, and a consciousness of immortal freedom, totally liberated from all our conceptual prisons, bindings, bondages. A consciousness of immortal freedom and a condition of perfect divine ecstasy, blissful, is the one supreme note and refrain of the voice that rings through the Gita. If we are anywhere near to this, the study has been worth it. Otherwise, it may also be an effort on the superficial plane. So Papa brings it out beautifully. Spontaneity of life, born of an egoless purity and innocence, and a consciousness of immortal freedom, and a condition of perfect divine ecstasy and peace, is the one supreme note and refrain of the voice that rings through the Gita. And Swami Chinmayanji puts it in a very simple way, reinforced, intelligently make use of the choice given to you. Don't choose the world, choose the Lord. Lord and Lord alone. The world is an appendage of Lord. It's a projection of Lord. Lord is there in this. So we have to see not the world, God. And signs of progress in the refinement process. The external indicators of inner refinement include harmony at home, harmony at workplace, harmony in relationships, harmony with nature, most importantly, harmony within ourselves. Over time, the harmony cultivates equanimity, ensuring that external challenges, this is very important, ensuring that external challenges remain mere surface level ripples, unable to disturb the depth of a refined mind. Ripples will be there. That is the nature of the body, mind, intellect to react. But nothing deep. This harmony cultivates equanimity, ensuring that external challenges remain mere surface level ripples, unable to disturb the depth of a refined mind. The journey of surrender ultimately leads liberation and unity with the divine. So that is how the 18th chapter comes to a close. We will take 5 minutes more. Tomorrow being Shivaratri day, we will have a break. Day after tomorrow, we will continue for a few more days and then see what we should do. But Shivaratri, for a spiritual aspirant, what is Shivaratri? We may not be able to do, but at least let us mentally understand, Everybody says Shivaratri, tomorrow is a holiday. People may say I will be doing fasting, somebody will be observing Maun, some austerities will be there. So if something more is there in our mind, it might help us to spend the day with some earnings, in the spiritual line. Shivaratri is particularly significant for spiritual aspirants because it symbolizes the transcendence of the mind and the awakening of inner consciousness. Transcendence of the mind. Suppose we are chanting Ram Nam tomorrow more. If we become one with the mind by the chanting, we are transcending the mind. Not even aware that we are chanting. And the awakening of the inner consciousness. We get linked to the truth that is making us to chant. Shivaratri, meaning the night of Shiva, represents the dissolution of ignorance, darkness, and the emergence of divine wisdom, light. Staying awake through the night signifies remaining alert in spiritual awareness, preventing the mind from slipping into worldly distractions. Lord Shiva, often associated with the destruction of ego and impurities, represents the power of transformation. Observing Shivaratri with fasting, prayer, and chanting refines thoughts, words, and deeds, aligning perfectly with the principle of using the mind as a refinery before expression. So tomorrow, all of us can do some dwelling on this refinery. During Shivaratri, devotees engage in chanting and worship, surrendering our actions to Shiva. This reflects the Bhagavad Gita's teaching of dedicating every action to the divine, reinforcing the practice of offering all activities in...
Voice is breaking, it's internet problem.
No,
No, for some it is continuous. For some it is good.
I am helpless.
There is internet problem.
So during Shivaratri, devotees engage in chanting and worship, surrendering all actions to Shiva. This reflects the Bhagavad Gita's teaching of dedicating every action to the divine, reinforcing the practice of offering all activities in selfless devotion. Shiva is often depicted in deep meditation, symbolizing inner stillness. Many of you might have heard about Dakshinamurti, Lord Shiva. He is an embodiment of silence. Spiritual aspirants observe Shivaratri to cultivate silence within, withdrawing from sensory distractions, focusing on the spirit within.
No sounds only.
No sound is it. It is a problem. Tell her message her.
We can
Padma Chavan.
Eh?
Padma, only Padma Chavan has problem.
No, they are not seeing this. Everybody is hearing?
Everyone can hear except Padma Chavan. All are here.
Okay. We will.
Padma
But we can send it.
Only Padma Ma. She's messaging Padma Ma. She's got a problem at her end.
Okay.
So it's problem at Padma Ma.
Yeah. So silence and stillness of the mind. Shiva is often depicted in...
She thinks now I can hear.
Right. Shiva is often depicted in deep meditation, symbolizing inner stillness. Spiritual aspirants observe Shivaratri to cultivate silence within, withdrawing from sensory distractions and focusing on the spirit within, aligning with the journey of seeing the same divine presence in all. The night-long vigil represents overcoming identification with the body and the mind, the me and mine, dissolving attachments, resting in the awareness of the Supreme Spirit. This helps in moving from mediocrity to higher realization. Observing Shivaratri is thus a powerful reminder for aspirants to refine themselves, dedicate everything to the divine, and awaken to the presence of the One within and in all. On this day, those of you who have got that Nirvana Shadgam, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham, you can please play and go through that meaning also. Because Shiva means that auspiciousness, that awareness, that consciousness. Shiva, the word, stands for that. And in that, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham, all these things are what? All knowables are removed. And what remains is that. All knowables are removed. Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham. Whatever we have heard, whatever we have seen, everything is removed. What remains, it cannot be told. Because the moment you say, it becomes a knowable. So whatever knowables are there, that is removed. So if we read on that particular day or dwell on the meaning of that particular day, it will be helpful. So these are all things for a spiritual aspirant. For normal devotees, they may sing, they have bhajans, all those things are there. But a sincere sadhaka, Shivaratri is a day where we impose certain restrictions on ourselves, some disciplines on ourselves, and silently we move on these lines. So we thought we should share with you all. That is why all these things have been brought out. So day after tomorrow we will So what is he to do then? So we should know, Papa has written in the Ashram Seva book, first article. What is that? We conveniently forget, no? Whenever it suits us, we will remind. In an ashram, we have to remember, is founded on the motto of universal love and service. Impersonality is the keynote of its mission. We are talking about self-effacement, It is not to recognize anything. It is to self-efface. Selfless souls join together, bringing down the divine power to work with them, become instruments for His service. Surely then, God's power alone lies at the basis of such corporate activity. Even an ashram is a corporate activity. So here, individuals do not count. We are grateful for him for facilitating an opportunity to at least feel for ourselves that we are an instrument. We may not be an instrument. We are still on the refining process. So, but he has to acknowledge that we are an instrument. But we all feel everybody is an instrument in his hands. So this is what he says, that God's power alone lies at the basis of such corporate activity. Bringing down the divine power at work in them, become instruments for his service. Okay. So what else? So we will all meet day after tomorrow. And tomorrow all of you get strengthened in whatever way, 1%, 5%, 10%, 15%, 50% of such. Not merely chanting. That we are very happy, all of us join together, chant sometime and then go. No. Please remember Puja Swamiji's words.
Okay, sir.
What is Puja Swamiji's words? We should not be merely devotees. We should become sadhakas. All these years we have been devotees. We have to graduate ourselves to sadhakas. That means committed to this.
Swamiji, are we having early morning satsang or not?
Everything. Everything will go on in the ashram as usual.
Only 3:30 to 4:30 is
It will not be. And each individually can have his own sadhana. Nobody need know about it. It is not a collective sadhana. Shivaratri is an individual sadhana. Then you become conscious, when it's a collective sadhana, here nobody knows what you are doing. But you will have today night, you will sit and find, I will do this also tomorrow. What were we talking now? Huh? Sadhaka.
Relating the mind with namasmara. Relating the mind with namasmara.
Okay.
Enna?
Filling the mind with namasmarana. Tomorrow.
Whatever it may be, remember him. Let it not go like the usual chanting, that's all. Usual chanting is, we have understood. At that time there is a joy. After that we are back to square one. But tomorrow we are not doing that. Each one, along with whatever you are collectively doing, you do. But you will have some individual chanting where you try to connect yourself with the spirit within. What is that name? Swamiji's book. What is the book? No. Dive deep and slow high.
points to ponder.
Dive deep. Control end. Or some, it is something like, Swamiji has brought out this book that a teacher and the seeker is talking, not Puja Swamiji. Swamiji mentally visualizes. So the seeker is asking, we need your blessings and occasional darshan to give further impetus to our sadhana. So the teacher says, our good wishes and blessings are with you, but you have to play your part. Please remember this. What part? All of you are blessed with love and devotion and a desire to have God vision. Desire alone won't do. Your aspiration is to realize the truth. Your aspiration to realize the truth must be fiery and your sadhana well disciplined. Instead of being merely devotees, you must turn into real sadhakas, not remaining merely as arthas and artharthis. Seeker, is there a difference between sadhakas and devotees? Yes. Devotees are those who are devoted to God but aspire mainly for worldly things. They are not generally keen to have anything higher. Whereas jitnasu sadhakas aspire only for God. They put themselves under strict discipline, which is like an advanced course that demands a high standard of dispassion, intensity of aspiration and discipline. Can we all become sadhakas, living in household? You can. Sadhana does not necessarily mean leaving the household. One can do sadhana living as a householder. What is required is intense aspiration to realize God, a high degree of dispassion, which will enable the sadhaka to be in communion with God constantly through chanting of His name, prayer and meditation, besides dedicating all the activities to Him. This is sadhaka. This is safer than renouncing everything and going in solitude for sadhana. So this is very important. We are now praying tomorrow intensely to our own Ishtadevata, our Guru. Kindly enable us to move from the devotee stage to sadhaka state. And you can say, I offer this tomorrow. You can bring that nameless, formless reality through any name or form which feels comfortable to you. Here also you try to remember how Puja Swamiji was prostrating before Beloved Papa. I am prostrating before the nameless, formless, indwelling, all-pervading reality whose presence has been made known to me through this form. So the form is recognized, revered, worshipped, but at the same time, the formless is connected. So all these things can well up in our hearts, and we pray to Him who is seated within us to somehow trigger this movement so that the Shivaratri day does not go as a usual day. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om, everybody. Hari Om. Hari Om. Namaskar. 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 Namaskar.
Take it, Sanjay.